was that showed up, but there was a bunch of orange that decided to make the trip, and appreciate them. Disappointed for them, disappointed for our team and everything that we had put into it since last January. That we didn't coach and play better in this one early. There wasn't a phase of the football game where we operated the way we needed to early in the game, and came back and made a couple plays at the end of the second quarter to tighten it up, and just didn't function well enough to get in the third quarter either. So, and that's a credit to them, but just didn't do what you have to on the road in a game against a really good football team. So disappointed on all those accords. Talked to the players in the locker room. Just everybody was disappointed, obviously. But there's a lot of guys that played the last game in a Tennessee uniform that really proud of too. A lot of those guys have been with us since we started this journey when I first got hired. And great leaders, great people, great players, and meant a lot to what we've built. So I'll open it up.
David.
Josh, when you look defensively in that first quarter, what was going wrong, and then also on the injury front, what did that do for you guys game plan wise?
Yeah, defensively, first series, got a chance to get off the field, end up with a playing penalty. Some of that's going to happen during the course of a game. Had a couple of busts in coverage, and they made some plays too, and that's going to happen against a good team. But what we didn't do is, come back and find a way to get on the right side of it, and that's defensively, offensively, it's everybody. Going into it, there were guys that had been out for a couple of weeks that we felt like we're going to be able to play in this one. We're probably going to be a little bit limited. The injuries just kind of started piling up on us early in the game.
Austin.
Josh, from a wide receiver standpoint, it didn't seem like you guys could get open tonight down the field. What were they doing to kind of limit you guys, and then where do you go from there at that position?
It's never just one thing. We struggled in protection early in the football game. Thought Nico did a good job with his feet throughout the course of it, making some plays. We didn't separate at times, and it was a combination of a lot of different things. Early the first couple of series we just got behind the chains and weren't able to pick up a third down, and then compile that with what was going on the other side of the ball. And, the scoreboard kind of spread a little bit, and they were able to pin their ears back. For us, we're losing a couple good players out there. What Brew's done in his career, who he is, Dante, what he's done throughout this season. Really proud of his growth. We got to find some guys that are going to step up and make plays, and we will.
Middle row.
Yeah, Josh, when you look at the growth of the program since you got there,
Yeah.
what do you feel like it's going to take for to take that next step when you get to this point in the season?
Well, we got to play better. We got to coach better. Ohio State's a good football team. Tonight wasn't one of our best performances this year, and so end of the day, got to continue to grow. We'll start again and start retooling and rebuilding and grow as a football team. So, 2 years ago we finished sixth in the country. There's a standard inside of our building, and we're going to continue to grow.
Patrick.
Josh, was Dylan's hamstring, was it a hamstring? What was it an issue you guys knew about during the game? Did it flare up early? What was the deal? Why didn't he play? more than you did.
Yeah, end of the Vandy game, got dinged up and it was soft tissue and had been out, first couple of weeks, got back with us, started building him through the week, felt like he was in a good spot, anticipated him not having the same type of load that he normally would have, just early in the game, kind of retweaked it and wasn't available there for a while.
Chris and then Adam.
Josh, as you built this program and seen the passion of the fans grow, which obviously was reflected out there tonight
Yeah.
with 30-some thousand
Pretty
people,
pretty special what our fans have done.
does that make it even harder for you guys and your team to see that type of turnout here and then the outcome of this game?
Yeah, ton of disappointment in our locker room for everybody that's invested. There's so much work that goes into it, but absolutely disappointed in the performance tonight for our fans. The amount of people that traveled, but it's every week. It's 365 days out of the year, so disappointed for them, absolutely.
Adam, then Ben.
Josh, sort of looking ahead, when you think of the pieces that are missing right now from this team to take the next step, do you think you know what those pieces are right now and how attainable are those pieces?
Man, we'll go back and watch this one here on the flight. Yeah, guys, people that have watched us, it wasn't our best football tonight. When you're playing a good football team, margins are thin. You're not on the right side of it. Doesn't have to look like it did tonight, but it won't look good. And ultimately, we're capable of playing better than we did tonight, and that's not taking anything away from Ohio State.
Josh, you mentioned needing to grow as a program going forward. What lessons do you feel like you all can learn from tonight that can help you all grow moving forward?
There will be a bunch of little things, just in the play and the detail of our assignments. But no matter when your season ends, right, like every year is new, man, and you start rebuilding. And when I say that, you can't skip any of the steps. So when we get our guys back, we'll start that process.
On the end.
Yes. It was in the low 20s pretty much the whole game. You had some injuries. Was that a factor tonight?
Well, the injuries were a factor for sure. But, the season in college football, it's long, and you got to have the next guy step up. And at the end of the day, whether it was a starter that was out there or backup, we didn't perform the way that we needed to. So,
Joe.
Josh, can you speak to the play of Nico, just missing two running backs and a couple of receivers? How do you play?
Kid's gonna lay it on the line and compete with everything that he's got, and he did that tonight. There's some things that he'd want back, and that could be a read, a throw, but continued to play and fight, and there were a lot of moving parts within our personnel around him, and when you're playing that position, you need 10 other guys around you playing at a high level too, and I said at the beginning, we just didn't coach well, play well enough collectively as a group to do the things you have to in this one.
Austin.
How hard is this month from a coaching standpoint when you've got agents and players' ears, renegotiate deals, you got kids that are forward in the program, and you're still in season. I mean, few coaches talk about, it's the only sport that, you've got free agency while the season's still going on. What can change in your mind? How do they change?
Yeah, I think everybody that follows the sport understands that it's a unique time of year. I'm not in charge of that, so do I think they need to find a way to to go through all the processes that they have right now, or, you know, things that are in the game, but find a better, I don't know, calendar for it. Yeah, I think that'd be best for the game for sure. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not using any of that for tonight. You know, we just didn't play well enough, didn't coach well enough. You know, so.
Chris, then David.
Josh, over and above your team, what it did or didn't do, is you scouted these guys and watched tape and looked at things leading up to this game, and now you've seen them live. I wonder where their roster ranks with anybody you played this year, the last couple of years.
They played really well. Coming into it, you know, I thought their skill and on both sides of the ball were as good as you'll see. You know, defensively, you know, they were led the country, or were top 5 in pretty much every category, and you know, they did a good job tonight. You know, we weren't efficient in the run game early, and you know, got to the quarterback early, and you combine those two things, and you're struggling offensively.
David.
Josh, what jumps out to you for why you feel like your team didn't perform as well as you would have liked tonight, and also what was your message to the team?
Yeah, I don't know if, you know, like the preparation going into it. You know, guys that were out there with us for the 2 weeks of this preparation, I thought they did a really good job in it. The performance tonight doesn't change my viewpoint of what they did on the practice field and in their preparation. Didn't execute some things tonight, got beat in some one-on-one situations. You know, that's out on the perimeter, but that's also at the line of scrimmage. And, you know, end of the day, couple of busts, and they create big plays, and they got, you know, they're on the right side of the scoreboard and create some separation, changes the way the game's played a little bit, and you combine all those things.
And your message to the guys after this?
You know, I think it's at the end of the season, you know, even after a really disappointing performance tonight, you know, at the end of it, recognize, you know, what the team had done throughout the course of the season. I think that's important. And, you know, the guys that have been a part of, you know, building this program, you know, I'm talking about inside the locker room, and, you know, the seniors that you're losing, what they've meant to this program. But I started it out by, you know, recognizing how disappointing this was. And you know, I think everybody, you better let that soak in, and it's got to propel you to whatever's next. And that's for the guys that are coming back. It's the guys that are leaving too. You got to grow and use this to propel you too.
Wes.
Josh, some of the struggles on the line of scrimmage tonight, were those things that, you know, were those surprising, or when you watched film, was that something that you thought was possible in this game?
I thought we would handle some of those things better than we did tonight.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to the post-game press conference for defensive coordinator Tim Banks and offensive coordinator Joey Halsley. Questions for the coaches? Jimmy? Just go ahead.
Tim, why do you think Ohio State had such success with the passing game, in particular, some of their shorter throws?
Yeah, they're a really good program, a lot of good players. They just really did a good job tonight. They didn't do a ton of things that, we necessarily hadn't seen on tape. So, our hats off to those guys. I thought they did a tremendous job tonight, and obviously it wasn't our best showing.
Front row.
Joey, can you just talk about the difficulties in the passing game, and did you expect to run Nico as many times as you did?
A lot of the runs that Nico ended up doing was him just extending plays on his own. We did have some designed quarterback run on the play he scored on and a couple third and shorts. We weren't creating big plays in the pass game. Weren't creating big windows. We had difficulty up front. It was an entire unit where from start to finish it couldn't get anything to pop going right there. That's why you ended up seeing him running with the ball in his hand a lot.
David?
For both of you guys, Coach Heupel mentioned just losing one-on-ones a little bit tonight. For the offensive line and for the DBs when that happened, what is the message in the middle of the game to kind of keep them engaged and try to prevent that from happening again?
Yeah, we've played a lot of, good football around here, and we've beaten a lot of good teams. So you're going to see good skill, week in and week out. I thought our guys, competed all night, and gave it their best effort. It just unfortunately we just came up a little short tonight.
Yeah, similar answer. You go on the road against good competition. If you're not playing on the right side of the margins, it gets real tough real fast. Similar to what Coach Banks said, like we've played really good defenses in the past. Tonight, we just weren't on the right side of those margins and the small details to allow us to make the big plays on the back end.
Chris?
Joey, I know you had a couple of your key guys at receiver that were hurt tonight, but when you can't make big plays down the field, either guys aren't getting open or you're not protecting well enough, how much does that hinder what you're trying to do offensively, especially against the guys that are this talented?
Yeah, it's kind of a sum of all the parts, right? When we're not creating the explosives, whether it's poor calls or poor execution, like whatever that may be, it puts you in a phone booth a little bit. Those guys start teeing off up front. So it's just from the entire sum of the entire night is we didn't stretch them enough. We didn't force them to respect us going by them enough to make them change up what they were doing. So when you let them play comfortable, when you let them play in their game plan and don't make them change, it creates long nights like what happened tonight.
In the back.
Joey, what do you think contributed, not just tonight, but over the course of the season to some of the games when y'all have had a lack of explosive plays in the passing game?
Yeah, again, it's never one thing, right? It's a lot of situations of everyone taking a turn, like where you get somebody open and then maybe you don't win up front and then you're dominating up front, you don't get open, and then you dominate up front, you get open and you miss the throw. Like if you just take your turn, like over the course of 65, 70 plays, if 11 guys take their turn one time, man, that's a big percentage of your plays right there. So it's about playing, offensive football is always about playing as a unit. If one guy's off, it ain't going to work. So that's what you're fighting, you're clawing, you're competing for all off season, all week in prep. And like I said tonight, we weren't on the right side of that.
Adam?
Joey, we asked Hop about personnel, upgrading personnel this offseason. How much of the plan in terms of protection and receiver needs to be about maximizing Nico next year? Adding guys that can help Nico?
I'll let Hype answer that part of the personnel. But as far as, it goes through your quarterback. That's who it is. When you have a quarterback, that's what it goes through. Like, that's why the guys in the NFL, that's what everything is. It's about supplying a team around them. If you got a quarterback that can make it go, our job is to make sure that we have the pieces in the scheme to allow him to be his best.
Joe, then Jimmy.
Joey, how much did you expect to have Dylan available tonight, and just how much did the game plan change?
We knew Dylan wasn't at 100%. We knew he was going to go early and he was going to give it a shot. Whenever that guy's not at 100%, he's SEC Offensive Player of the Year, right? He makes everything go. So losing him and actually not even having him at full speed was tough. But that's part of the job is when you're not healthy, when you're not 100%, what are you going to do to get the job done? We didn't get it done tonight.
Joey, without Sampson, does it change your game plan or your play calling?
It can. Like I said, we knew he wasn't at 100%. We were hopeful that he was gonna, be able to go full speed tonight. And then the other thing is we never, we didn't get him going too as much as we would have hoped. But yeah, whenever you don't have a guy of that caliber, it hurts. It makes it more difficult. Yeah.
Patrick, then Ben.
Tim, you guys had a couple stops there in the second quarter to kind of get you guys back in the game. Then the third quarter, you weren't able to sustain on defense. What was the issues there to start the third quarter for you guys?
Yeah, it's always difficult. We had a couple calls, that didn't quite go our way, based on the situation. So, I mean, again, I don't want to be a broken record, but, you just got to take your hat off to Ohio State. They did a tremendous job tonight. Like I said, I have the utmost faith in our guys, and, I'm very proud of, what they've done to this point. So it's super disappointing. We only got a couple stops. To beat a team of that caliber, we obviously need to play our best game. And unfortunately, we didn't do that tonight.
Jim, what led to Ohio State maybe being able to control the line of scrimmage more than we've seen from your group this year, and was that surprising to you?
Yeah, I think anytime, it goes hand in hand. Your back end, your front, different things you have to do coverage-wise to get a front the best chance to be successful and vice versa. So we just weren't able to find that combination tonight, to give us a chance to play winning defense.
Yep. Tim, I'm curious, how much do you think their success offensively was because of what they did, and how much of it was you guys not doing what you're capable of doing?
Yeah, I think the truth always lies somewhere in the middle. You obviously got to be a defense that doesn't beat themselves, and obviously when you're playing great talent. So obviously we'll evaluate the tape a little bit closer to have a better answer. But I think overall, some things that we like to do better. And unfortunately we didn't.
Front row.
You guys both this year had the luxury of a lot of multi-year seniors up front. What's that going to be like, saying goodbye to a lot of friendly faces who played a lot of football around here, and just kind of, developing again for next year?
Well, for me, as I told those guys in the locker room, when a lot of guys decided to leave here, when we took this job, those guys stayed, so I'll forever be grateful for that. I love those guys. They gave us everything they had, and then the class that came right after them, we're still building. Those guys came to be a part of it. So, we're going to miss those guys. It's going to be very hard to replace, the leadership that those guys gave us, but we feel really good about some of the young guys that we've brought in and some of the guys that, showed some promise earlier in the year. So, the standard will be the standard. We're excited about the youth that we have, and, yep, we'll miss the leadership, but we're definitely got some guys that are going to, pick it up.
Yeah, similar like a guy like, I see Cooper Mays afterwards. It's like, man, it's going to be weird walking into the facility next time and him not standing in there. For those guys, because when we got here, everybody had the opportunity to leave because with the coaching change and the rules with the portal and everything, and the fact that those guys chose to stay and that they're still here, and where they took this program from 21 to 24, where we're in the college football playoff, like, man, like the Tennessee fan base should long love that entire group of guys that helped bring this program back to where it is. And to what Coach Banks was saying, for the young guys in there, the message is this doesn't happen. Like, you don't just get to go to the college football playoff. What those guys did to get us here, it's now their time to step in and become those leaders, become the vocal and the physical leaders, become the guys that make the plays. They've been watching for a year or 2 years, and now it's time for them to step up. But the biggest thing is none of this ever just happens. Nothing in this game is given. Nothing just happens by surprise. Everything's earned. Everything you get and everything you don't get. So that's the message moving forward. There's a lot of competition out there now. There's a lot of open spots that are up to be taken. So we should have a really high-end off season to go get us right back where we want to be.
Any other questions for the coordinators? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Chris, when you mentioned bowl, nobody on our team even knows about bowls.
We'll have two waves of players next. First group will be Cooper Mays, Amari Thomas, and Jeremiah Thielander.
Group of players here from your right to left: Jeremiah Thielander, Cooper Mays, and Amari Thomas. Raise your hand for questions, and I'll call on you guys. Who'd like to get us started? David, we'll start with you.
Cooper, obviously you've got a long relationship with this program and this place. For you, I think Coach Halsey was saying it's going to be hard to walk in the facility and not see you moving forward. What does the end of your time here mean for you personally?
Man, I don't really know how to really put it into words. How to articulate what this journey and what all these people that I've encountered in my time at Tennessee. I don't really know if I got words to explain it. I truly do love this place, and I love going into work with these guys every day, every week. Truly love competing and getting better every week with these guys, and super upset that it's over, but super proud of everybody involved with getting this place back to more where it's supposed to be.
Paige.
Building off of that, Cooper, what were some things that were maybe flashing through your mind as you were walking off the field for the last time?
Just that it was actually over. I don't know, till the clock truly hits zero, I don't really think about anything but the next play, and kind of all that stuff just hitting me that it was actually over. My time here at Tennessee, really emotional, honestly.
Chris.
Any of you guys, one of the hardest things to do at places like Tennessee or big time blue blood programs is get on the right side of the fans' passion. Clearly, you guys were able to do that when you look up and see 30,000 fans in the stadium. How hard is it to walk away knowing that you didn't play your best game, but they turned out en masse the way they did?
I'll say really just that's important for us to see and have fans that we support us no matter what. We feel like our fans play a big part in everything that we did this year. They continue to just support us in everything, regardless, bad, good, ugly. We have fans who continue to support us, and coming out here, it meant a lot for us. We play for each other, we play for the fans, we play for the culture. Being a part of Tennessee culture, it just mean a lot to us. So just being able to have fans who support us and just think the world of us, it means a lot.
We'll go to Adam here in the front.
Cooper, is a different guy going to be snapping the ball to Nico, probably a different running back behind different receivers. If the right pieces are around Nico as he grows into the offense, what's the ceiling for him?
I guess you could say sky's the limit. I've been adamant. I don't know anything really about quarterback. Truthfully, I don't know. I don't know what's good or what's bad or anything. But I know that kid's a special kid, uber talented. One of the most talented football players I've ever been around. And his maturity at a young age is really impressive too. So when you mix all that stuff together, it always breeds a positive result. And I know he's going to be great, whatever pieces or whatever you're speaking about. I know he's going to be a great player regardless.
We'll go back to David.
For all you guys, how would you describe the locker room after this one? And any of the players have a message or address the team?
Jeremiah, why don't you take this one first?
Obviously, everybody's super disappointed. For me, it's just really sad to see the seniors have to go, and you know, you don't prepare for a loss, and you think you're gonna win every game, so you kind of mentally didn't prepare to have to tell some of these seniors goodbye or watch them take their pads off for the last time. So for me, that's the hardest thing is seeing the guys I look up to and the leaders on the team go out that way.
Ben, we'll go to you.
For Cooper and Amari, just for the program to continue to grow from this point with what you all have built to this point, what lessons do you feel like the program needs to take from tonight to allow them to continue to grow?
I would say just continuing to be coachable. Everyone's I feel like that's something that really we were coachable, but we just have to continue to be coachable. That's something that for the program to continue to succeed, you have to continue to be coachable. You need guys who gonna be in the program, who love the program, love the culture about it. Yeah.
Ryan, over here.
Amari or Jeremiah, either of you guys, just the first few possessions of the game for it to snowball like that and be 21-0. I mean, what was kind of your reaction to all that as it was unfolding, and did you feel you guys kind of got rattled at all by that or anything that happened in the first few minutes?
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't win our one-on-ones at the start of the game, and our defense has always done a great job of bouncing back and bringing the fight back to them, but we just didn't win our one-on-ones, and it didn't go our way tonight.
Austin?
I truly, I mean, I don't know if it's a message or anything that you say. I think the way that guys like us have come to work and showed up and, showed face every day and, the mentality and the energy that we brought, I think that speaks volumes and says more than any, two-sentence thing could ever really capture, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the grass isn't always green on the other side. Everybody knows that. Everybody has their own situations, but man, I really do love Tennessee, and it's been really good to me.
Anything else for this group? All right, we'll have another group of two guys here in just a minute. Nico Iamaliava and Will Brooks. Guys, thank you. Appreciate it.
I think that's he did it because
All right, we'll finish up tonight's availability with Will Brooks and Nico Iamaliava. Please raise your hand for questions, and we'll call on you. We'll try to get you a mic if you're close. Who would like to get started? David, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Jimmy over here.
Nico, can you just talk about the struggles with the downfield passing game? And Joey said it resulted in you running a lot more. I mean, did you ever expect to run 20 times today?
I'm at 20 carries. No, I did not expect to run that many times. Some shots that were there, and just, overall as a team, we just didn't execute the whole game plan, so got to be better.
Jimmy, over here. Just go ahead.
What did Ohio State do scheme-wise in the passing game that allowed them to have so much success?
Yeah, I mean, I think they just executed at a higher level than us. I mean, we had the opportunities to make a couple plays and just weren't able to capitalize on it, so just execution.
David, Oben over here, and then Ben.
For both of you guys, Coach Heupel talked a lot about disappointment. How would you describe tonight? And when you think about disappointment, what are you guys most disappointed in how tonight went?
Yeah, I'll start. It just stings kind of losing like that. Just obviously we're all disappointed with the result. I feel like we had, a good game plan and just weren't able to execute it. So just obviously really disappointed with the result of the game.
Yeah, man, just started off slow. We were supposed to come in, had a great game plan to, come in and fire first. And, they hit us in the mouth first. And, we were just trying to recover that whole game. And first half, I thought we did a great job of that. And, second half coming in, I thought we could have played at a way higher level than we did.
Ben?
Nico, what do you feel like you all need to take from this loss and carry with you into the offseason? What do you feel like, or what do you hope your teammates and yourself, of course, take from this loss?
I think just to, use this as motivation, man. We've been putting in work since January, to get to this point. And, it sucks to go out that way, because that's not who we are, man. I love this team. I love the team we have. And, just the way tonight went was not the way, we wanted it to go. And we'll use that as fuel, motivation during this offseason to really hit it.
Well, Chris and then Austin.
Both you guys, Nico, sort of along the same lines, you guys have knocked down so many barriers the last couple of years. You've beaten Alabama, beaten Florida, winning 11 games, winning 10 games, getting to the playoff. That next step, what do you need to do to play better on the road against better teams?
Yeah, I think that all just comes to executing on the road. Like I said, our coaches gave us a great game plan, and us as players, as the team, we're the ones out there, on the field playing, and we just got to hold ourselves to a higher standard and execute at a higher level.
Austin?
Will, for a kid from Alabama that walked on, what memories do you take from this thing?
Just really being with the guys on the team. That's what really hurts the most about, losing and not being able to finish the way we wanted to. Just the fact that I won't be able to be around any of those guys like every day anymore, just it really, really hurts.
Go over here.
Nico, without Dylan, Swirl, and then Dante getting injured too, how much did that limit the game plan on what you guys could do?
Yeah, shoot, at the end of the day, man, whoever's out there, whether it's a freshman or not, we got to be able to execute the same way with those guys or not, and we didn't do a good job of that tonight.
Wes?
Nico, obviously, most people, who've ever played football won't play at a level like this. But for people to explain to those people, I guess, the difference in playing offense on the road and at home, just how much different is it in terms of trying to execute and doing things?
Yeah, I would just say, just the crowd noise that plays a factor in how we play. We can't play as fast as we want to without tempo. And, yeah, man, that's really the biggest factor was crowd noise.
Adam?
Nico, Joe, what can be added to open up the offense next year? And do you want to be in conversations with coaches about what can open up the offense more?
Yeah. Obviously in the offseason, me, Coach Joey, and, Coach Hype will always having conversations on how we can excel this offense, and it'll be that in the offseason too.
And then Caleb, and then Paige.
Yeah, just keep fighting and be ready for every single opportunity that you're presented, and just to take advantage of it. And I hope people can just learn kind of from my journey. Like, you don't always have to come in and start right away. You can wait your time and just take advantage of everything that's given to you, and good things will come.
We'll go to Paige, and we'll finish with Mike here in the middle.
Obviously not the outcomes, but like tens of thousands of Vol fans were in the stadium tonight. You talk about crowd noise. Just what does their dedication kind of mean to you? How impressive is it to see how well they travel for these games?
Yeah, man, I love it, man. I was so happy to see, all the orange in the stands. It sucks the performance we gave out for them. But, I hope they all get home safe, man. I really appreciate the support.
Mike?
Yeah, Nico, the wide receiver room, what do you think the future of that group looks like? Who are the guys you think can elevate for next year? Is that a group that you'd like to add some bodies to potentially as you guys look at that next year?
Yeah, shoot, I haven't really, looked too far ahead yet. Letting this one sting a little bit. I think, just got a great young room in there. Obviously, we got some guys coming back. So, yeah, man, we'll just look to, keep getting better in the offseason.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Everyone get home safely.